At Penn's Statter's new government gig, a Penn starter's new government gig, Graham Spanner may have been ousted from his post at Penn State president over sex abuse scandal that engulfed the university. Again, a Penn starter's new government gig, Graham Spanner, is that how you pronounce it, may have been ousted from his post at Penn State president over the sex abuse scandal that engulfed the university. But it seems he's found a backup employer, the American taxpayer. Of course, he's now joined the Supreme Army. He should be a new TSA commander. They hire the defrock priest, the rapist. I mean, you know, don't even do background checks on them, or they do to make sure they're criminals and hire them. Spanier was faulted. Is that how you pronounce it? S-P-A-N-I-E-R? Is that how you pronounce that, guys? Spanier, yeah. Was faulted in an internal Penn State report after former assistant football coach Jerry Sandusky was convicted of child molestation. The report said the head coach, Joe Paterno, Spanier, and others had helped cover up Sandusky's abuse. But then it goes on. He's now working at a secret Homeland Security project for the U.S. government relating to national security, but they can't tell you. You know, we're the people that cover up decades of children being raped and sold to donors to the university, because that's what this was. That's even come out in the local news, but that's being covered up as well. Where do you go? You go to the big pedophile command base in the sky. I mean, that's where you go. I mean, that's who. How many times have I told you it's a pedophile operation at the top? You don't get into the upper reaches of it unless you're part of that club. I mean, just look at all these people. Just look at them. Would you let any of the heads of Homeland Security, any of these government people, just look at their eyes, look at how they act, look at the head of the NSA, look at them all. And let me ask you something. Would you let your child be in a room alone with them? And the answer is not just no, H-E double hockey sticks no. Does your skin crawl? Well, it should. And Rome, before it collapses the same way. Usually these people take over. They've got to get in command to be able to brutalize. They really want to murder your children. Let's get that straight. They're raping them as much as they can hurt them without killing them. And believe me, they kill them too. These globalists love killing little kids. But until they get to that point, you know, bombing of Dresden, kill a couple 100,000 kids in one night, beautiful to them. So there you go. Oh, but wait, there's more. This is in the Wall Street Journal, you name it. Mayor Bloomberg and the teachers' unions protect pedophiles. And it goes on, a big report out in the Wall Street Journal today, how they just protect them and nobody gets in trouble, and that's just the way it is. There you go. Oh, that's just one little group of articles there. Let me do a plug here, too, if you want to know more about this. There's 2 films on one DVD, Dark Secrets Inside Bohemian Grove and The Order of Death. And Bohemian Grove is going to end tomorrow. It's been going for the last week and a half or so. And the Christian conservative leaders predominantly ship in all the gay porn stars for themselves. That's not, debated. That's even in Vanity Fair. I was like the cat in a cartoon with Pepe Le Pew chasing me the entire time when I was in there. I was only in there about 4.5 hours, being whistled at and, all the rest of it. Yeah, world leaders, heads of companies whistling at me. And so, that's basically what's going on there. But that's just the opening salvo, ladies and gentlemen. You have to understand of what really goes on inside of the globalist operations. So you need to get these at InfoWarsShop.com. And this is now back in print, expanded, with a forward by Tex Mars, Mike Hansen, who infiltrated Bohemian Grove with me. This is the only modern, updated, very well-written, expansive book about Bohemian Grove, not just our infiltration. And it is Bohemian Grove, Cult of Conspiracy. You get a free citizen rule book with it and more at InfoWarsShop.com. Or you can get there on the site a huge discount on the 2 films that go with it. If you want to understand how deep the rabbit hole goes, I mean, let me tell you, somebody like Sandusky was just a dungeon keeper. So they're burning the dungeon keeper who supplied the kids. And again, John DeCamp talked about this on my show more than a decade ago. I remember when he brought this up, about Boys Town. Later it came out it was true, and Penn State and the football program. I was like, let's stop right there, because that hadn't been in court yet. And everybody pointed it out and found those interviews. Folks, this has been going on. Of course, local news reports, that's the word, is that Sandusky was supplying little kids. Really, I mean, he's raping them at high noon on, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday mornings. I mean, he's raping little kids in the showers with people milling around. I mean, this is a giant nest of scum. I told you Paterno knew, and of course it came out he knew. Of course he knew. I mean, I could take one look at that guy and it makes my skin crawl. Don't you people have any discernment? I mean, you don't just judge a book off its cover. It's a spiritual thing. You can literally just see them. I mean, look at Sandusky. He looks like a demonic ferret or a chipmunk or something. And but I was wrong to say Joe Paw or whatever his stupid name was, his stupid nickname. They took down the statue, didn't they? I was right, you were wrong. I was right, you were wrong, okay? And it isn't about me being right here, okay? But I mean, outside Bohemian Grove, repeatedly, little kids get kidnapped and killed and dumped out there. Polyclosh, you name it. All the time, you see little kids getting grabbed and picked up. And I mean, folks, they're getting taken 9 times out of 10 for these people to literally rape the living daylights out of them and torture them for quite a period of time. Okay? It doesn't just stop with them raping little kids. They like to torture the living daylights out of them. Okay, that's who runs your government. Just get that straight and get that through your head and understand that real good and let that burn in. And as soon as they get their guns, they're going to turn hell loose on us. Texas Rangers tried to stop the public rape rooms at the Texas Youth Commission, where they were selling the kids. The judges and elitists would come down and pick which kid they wanted out of the different deals. They had gladiatorial fights, paying tickets. The Texas Rangers tried to stop it. They got shut down. And you know what? The commission got taken over by the very same crew, and it's business as usual. Nothing's going to stop. You're not going to stop these people now that they're in power and in control from having their way with your children until they're fully removed. Do you know about CPS? Do you know what a bunch of pedophiles they are? Again, our so-called guardians are a bunch of scum. And until we come right out with it and admit how much trouble we're in, it's over. No future. Okay, I've now covered one little area of news here. Where should I start? I mean, there's just so much here that it makes my head spin. Oh, looky here. This is out of the New American. Fluoride lowers IQ in kids, new study shows. Yeah, well, I mean, what are there, hundreds of studies, literally? A review of some 24 studies by Harvard University researchers. Oh, it's just Harvard. This month, in a peer-reviewed federal journal suggests that fluoride added to water supplies significantly decreases the IQ of children. Yeah, that's why every store you go to, they got bottled water. It says extra fluoride for kids. That's why the kids, it tastes like bubble gum. The toothpaste is I mean, there's a reason the public's mentally dumbed down. I mean, this was not. They didn't put it in the water at the gulags under Lenin and Stalin and then Hitler because they wanted to, take care of the inmates. Fluoride lowers IQs in kids, new study shows. But it doesn't matter. They're going to keep doing it. And if you go to your city council and say, I want this out, they're going to laugh at you until you sue them. They're assaulting you and your family, just like they want to get your kid in a room and blow their head off. Just like they want to. These people, let me tell you, these people like to torture a kid for a couple months and just use them up, is what they call it, just savagely terrorizing them. And then they just chop them up with a meat cleaver, blow their head off. And you know what? I know you're not going to protect the children. It's too scary for mainline people. You're mainline, which means you're into picking up whatever the establishment says is the end thing and then following it, even though that establishment is a bunch of psycho killers. Fluoride seems to fit in with lead, mercury, and other poisons that causes chemical brain damage, noted senior study author Felipe Gragin, a professor of environmental health at Harvard. The effect of each toxicant may seem small, but the combined damage on the population scale can be serious, especially because the brain power of the next generation is crucial to all of us. No, it's not, buddy boy. They're spraying aluminum dioxide on us to make sure we can't escape. They've engineered all the GMO crops to attack our organs. Disorders of the gut are running rampant everywhere. I was at a business meeting last night at a restaurant/bar and overheard two different people. One guy, I even talked to him. He's like, yeah, can we fix this plug? Is there something we can do with this little plug? Doesn't just pop out just constantly out of the thing. It's just driving me. I mean, it just totally breaks my train of thought. I don't know what I'm going to do. But the point is that this guy's like, yeah, I got to leave Austin, Texas and go back to Virginia, wherever it was. My dad's dying of Crohn's. And I heard somebody else talking about somebody in their family dying of it. It was unknown 50 years ago. It's just, oh, we're just all going to die and let a bunch of perverts run everything. And they're not even perverts. They'll have a Renfield type like Sandusky who actually likes to rape kids. The globalists like to pull their teeth out with pliers and torture the hell out of them. I mean, that's really what they're into. By the way, I have a Dungeon Keeper article out of BuzzFeed. Report, U.S. general ignored Auschwitz-like conditions to help Obama, where people were being eaten by maggots in Afghanistan. The soldiers, everyone was starving to death. We'll get to that later. But that's a beautiful thing for them. We'll be right back. Let me ask you a question. What does freedom mean to you? Again, if you're a new listener and you're like, man, this is hardcore what this guy's talking about. Well, I just cover what I've discovered and what I've found. And the evil we face is so over the top that only an immediate, in-its-face awakening will give us any chance. I mean, the system is so evil. It's full of so many criminals, so many people that are so bad, words cannot describe it, that we've got to break with the system and realize it's alien, it's false, it's evil. It comes to kill, steal, and destroy. The churches have been taken over. It's 24/7 government worship fest there. You should be offended by all of this. I know I am. And here they are hiring the Penn State president to work for Homeland Security, quote, in a secretive position. Just like they've hired all these pedophiles to run the TSA. Just like they busted the head of the Florida CPS a few years ago was a pedophile. And then it turned out their two deputies were. They're like, oh, there was no background check. Oh, there was a background check done. These people have taken over. They're buying weapons. They're using our money to arm against us and getting the police trained to attack us. And I want to just tell the police, I know on average you're good men and women. And a lot of you got in there with a desire to do good. I know that. But a lot of you have been recruiting thugs now, and we're in deep trouble. And let me tell you, this country is going to fall. All right, I said I'd go to your calls. And again, I've got like 20 stacks of news. I'm not exaggerating. There's power outages all over the country as they shut down coal power plants. China builds 3 a week. We can't even get 2 a year. We're just shutting down. I've got that news. 370. Yeah, that's Associated Press. It says 370 Indianans, but it can't be 370 million. There's only, oh yeah, that's in India. Yeah, that's another article. I was seeing that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, no, I'm talking about the Daily Caller. I'm talking about here in the United States. Record number of coal-fired generators to be shut down. There's power outages around different areas of the United States. Okay, let's go to Michael in Oklahoma. Michael, you're on the air. Welcome. Okay, you don't want to talk? Or you do? Okay, Michael's not there. Jason in New Hampshire, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
How you doing, Alex?
I'm not doing too good.